Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is your man R0B back at it. Yes, back at it with another New York Giants video. It's been a minute, you guys, since we've uploaded a video. A lot has transpired, and I do know that I've taken a little bit of a break, a long break. Little is an understatement. But I've taken a long break from really uploading, and a lot has kind of gone on. I will make a separate video kind of explaining, where I've been, what took place, and why I was gone for so long. So be on the lookout for that. But it's good to be back. It's good to be with you. And it is time to get back into it. We have New York Giants news that needs to be covered. We have things that need to be addressed, and it will continue to go on as we get closer and closer to the kickoff of the season. Next week, we got the Hall of Fame game. Super excited to watch some football. I know you guys are, but we're going to get into some Giants news. So today, the Giants went ahead and they added 4 new players to the roster. Now, obviously, these are not guaranteed spots. I'm sure they added these players on strictly for depth and to try to see what they were able to do. And maybe they can make that 53-man roster, a lot of which are promising players that have been in the league for a little bit, some young, so we'll see what they're able to do. Among the 4 players that were added was Nick Williams, a defensive lineman. They added Camille Seymour, who is an offensive lineman. They brought back a familiar face in Andrew Adams, and then they also went and added a wide receiver, Marcus Kemp. Okay, so we're going to dive in to these players really quickly. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on those bell notifications so that you guys can get alerted anytime we go ahead and we upload a video. It greatly helps me out a lot. Also, be sure to share it. If you like it and you're giving it that thumbs up and you're subscribing and you're turning on those bell notifications, click that share button, tweet it out, put it on Facebook, whatever you can do to go ahead and get us out there. I would greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you guys. And also, let me know in the comment down below. Type in Zero Squad in the comments down below to get a shout out on our next video, and I could shout you out. Could be you. It could be you. So let's go ahead and we're going to dive into it, right? Okay, so for the first guy that they went and added down, that they went ahead and added, is Nick Williams. All right, Nick was born February 21st, 1990. He's 32 years old, so he's a little bit up there in age. He's been in the league since about 2013. That's when he was drafted. He was drafted in the 7th round, 223rd pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he's played for Pittsburgh, he's played for Kansas City, he's played for Miami, Chicago, Detroit is where he was last year, and he's going to go ahead and be on the Giants roster. Now, as far as when it comes down to his career stats, he's got 105 tackles with 7.5 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and 5 pass deflections. Now, he had played pretty well and had some nice plays for Chicago when he was there. Obviously, he was on Detroit last year and had some significant playing time there. Their defensive line was kind of being shuffled around. Didn't really have a lot of set guys on there, so he did get some playing time. But the bottom line here is that he's adding depth to this roster and some veteran leadership, potentially being in the league for 9 years. So he's been around the block. He's played with Miami. Probably has some ties to maybe Brian Daboll when he was with the Miami Dolphins, or Joe Shane when he was with the Miami Dolphins and he was there. So there's a relationship there. Also being with Kansas City when Mike Kafka was there potentially in 2014, 2016. So, definitely going to have some familiarities there and a comfortable player to bring in. I like it. I mean, I don't have any expectations for Nick. I'm sure he's going to be coming in competing to make the 53-man roster. Again, just adding that veteran leadership leadership to a young defensive line group, in Dexter Lawrence, who's still, going on to his fourth year. He's still a young player. Obviously, you have a seasoned guy in Leo that's there. So I think it would be nice to add in a little bit of depth to the defensive line. We're going to go ahead and talk about Marcus Kemp. Okay, so Marcus Kemp was added. He was born August 14, 1995, 26 years old, so he's still pretty young. Went to Hawaii for his college. Was drafted by the undrafted in the 2017 draft. He was with the Kansas City Chiefs for 3 years, 2017 to 2020. Then he went to Miami later that year in 2020. Went back to Kansas City in 2020 to 2021, and then obviously now is on the active roster. Active roster for the New York Football Giants. Again, this is, I'm sure, is a more of a depth move to try to see, basically bringing extra guys in case of injury. Obviously, we don't know as far as with Sterling Shepard where he's going to be looking at. We have Kadarius Toney. We have Kenny Golladay. Obviously, we have Wandel Robinson, who we drafted in the second round. So I'm sure more likely this is a depth add. He's only got 4 receptions for 42 yards in his career. So, again, no expectations when it comes down to Marcus Kemp. However, for his career at Hawaii, he had 176 receptions for 2,570 yards and 13 touchdowns. So he's pretty successful at college. But, again, no expectations for him. More of a depth move for the New York Football Giants. Now, the Giants also added an offensive tackle. Okay, they added an offensive tackle named Camille Seymour. Camille Seymour went to Rutgers. Birthplace is actually Brooklyn, New York. So he's from the New York area. He was born April 27, 1996. So he is a young buck and was drafted. Undrafted, I believe, by the Oakland Raiders. If he was drafted, it's not saying on here, so I can't seem to find if he was drafted. But he was with the Oakland Raiders last year, 6'6", 319 pounds. Again, this is more of a depth move. I'm more than likely sure he's going to be competing to try to either make the practice squad potentially or maybe make a backup 53-man roster when they make the cuts. Again, I think this is more likely a depth move to try to add some competition, and more than likely could potentially win that backup role with Matt Parrott. Who knows what his story is? Guy couldn't beat out Nate Solder last year for the starting job. He did suffer an injury last year, so who knows where he's going to be. Obviously, they got Cunningham as well, I believe, too, on the active roster, so who was there last year. So we'll see what happens, but it's definitely going to be a nice battle. I'm liking the fact that they're bringing in guys to compete. I do like that very, very much, and I think it's going to bode well for a lot of the young guys. Obviously we have our bona fide left tackle in Andrew Thomas, but we have a young gun in Evan Neal. I think it's going to make him work a lot harder, and who knows, these guys could turn around and play interior as well. Who knows? So I like the battle that we're going ahead and having, and what Joe Shane and Brian Daves is going ahead and doing. Now, we brought in a familiar face. Okay, brought back a familiar face. A lot of you Giants fans are going to remember him. Andrew Adams. He was born October 28, 1992, 29 years old, out of Fayetteville, Georgia. He's 5'11", 202 pounds, went to UConn. He went undrafted in the 2016 draft, and was with us and had some success with us, played a little bit for us in the 2016-2017 season, made some plays for us, went to Tampa Bay in 2018, was there for a season, was on the practice squad for the Detroit Lions in 2019 until going back to Tampa Bay in the 2019 to 2020 season. Was on the Philadelphia Eagles practice squad in 2021, going back to Tampa Bay in 2021, and now he's come back home to the New York Football Giants on the active roster. He's got 175 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 19 pass deflections, and 6 interceptions. Got significant playing time and played very well when he was with Tampa Bay, and made a significant amount of plays. And he played well for us as well when he was with the New York Football Giants. So he's been with two squads, Tampa really, and New York as far as the two teams that he's played. He's been on Philly and Detroit for the practice squads. I'm hoping that he's more than likely going to make the 53-man roster. I'd like to see him back. I don't think that he played bad, and I definitely would like to see, call me crazy, but I definitely would like to see a little bit more of Andrew Adams than Julian Love. Not taking away from Julian Love, but I think that Andrew Adams could definitely play that free safety position pretty well. He's got the experience. I know this is probably similar saying, hey, we had Logan Ryan. He was playing free safety. I mean, what are we doing here? But I like it. I think that it could, bona fide be a good pickup there, and I think he'll be very, very pleased to be back on the field playing for the New York Football Giants. Now, I do want to cover also this. So the Giants went ahead. Obviously, we know about the injury to Daniel Bellinger, the tight end that we drafted, I believe in the third or fourth round of this past 2022 NFL draft. Suffered an injury. And yesterday, the New York Football Giants did bring in Eric Ebron for an interview. Met with him originally from Newark, New Jersey. So he's from the area. He's only 29 years old, so he's still fairly young. He was born April 10th, 1993. He was drafted in the 2014 NFL Draft, first round. It was the 10th pick overall for the Detroit Lions. Was there in Detroit for 3 years, so from 2014 to 2017. Went and played with the Indianapolis Colts in 2018 to 2019, and then was with Pittsburgh from 2020 to 2021. He made the Pro Bowl in 2018. He was a second-team AP All-American in 2013. He was a first-team All-ACC in 2013 when he was in college, and second-team All-ACC in 2022. He's got 351 receptions for 3,837 yards and 33 receiving touchdowns, 13 of which came one season in Indianapolis. Now, when you look at what he's been, obviously he was with the Detroit Lions. We know what kind of team that was. They were passing a lot, but he was there when Megatron was there, so Megatron got a lot of the attention when he was there. When Megatron left, I think he played 1 or maybe 1 year after Megatron left, had a decent year, went and played with Indianapolis, played fairly well, went to Pittsburgh, thought he was going to flourish there with Big Ben, and then had some drop issues. And he's had those issues periodically throughout his career. He's not a very good run blocker, but he is a good red zone threat. He's 6'4", 253 pounds, just 1 inch shorter than Kyle Rudolph, but could potentially add some depth to this tight end room. And I believe Christian Entertainer was talking about it yesterday when he made his YouTube video on it, that this could bode well to the fact that maybe the Giants are trying to, get a replacement. Maybe they're not liking what they're hearing in regarding to Daniel Bellinger's injury. Maybe not sure if he'll be ready to play week 1 or if he'll be even ready to start until maybe later on in the year, depending on how serious the injury might be and what his recovery and recouping time might be. So I don't have an issue. I mean, he's been around the league now for some time. Again, he was drafted back in 2014, so he's been in the league, 7 or 8 years. He's definitely going to demand a league minimum. A lot of people would probably go ahead and compare him to Evan Ingram. Same skill set, same dropping issues, but the thing is, Evan Ingram is a very, very young player. He's 24, 25 years old, and that alone is going to get him a little bit way above average of league minimum, strictly because of his upside and his age and his athletic ability. When it comes to a guy like Eric Ebron, who's been around the league, for the last 7 or 8 years, especially coming off a very inconsistent last couple of years, one with Pittsburgh and also one with Indianapolis, he's more than likely going to demand somewhere around the league minimum, which is, we have the space there. We have about $6.8 million in cap space to go ahead and use. I wouldn't have an issue with them bringing him in, depending on what Daniel Bellinger's status is and how quickly he may be able to recoup and come back from his injury. I do think Prior to his injury, I thought that Daniel Bellinger stood a chance to win the starting job, and I was actually rooting for him as far as from an offensive standpoint. That was a guy that I really wanted to see and see what he was capable of. Obviously, we know we have Wandel Robinson at the wide receiver spot, but I was really looking forward to seeing Daniel Bellinger. Big hands, physical, very, very good run blocker, good route runner, good pass catcher. Really wanted to see what he was capable of. I wish him a speedy recovery, and hopefully that this injury isn't too serious and he's able to get back on the field with the New York Football Giants as soon as possible. So all in all, kind of going over it, I like the Andrew Adams, and I like bringing him back. Hopefully he's able to make the 53-man roster. If they decide to bring in Eric Ebron for the league minimum, I'd be totally okay with that. Marcus Kemp, Camille Seymour, and Nick Williams, all depth adders. I could potentially maybe see Nick Williams making the roster strictly because of the fact that he's been in the league for some time. Camille Seymour and Marcus Kemp, those are question marks. Marcus Kemp really hasn't amounted to anything within the NFL, maybe making a practice squad, but I doubt he would be able to do that with his age. And Camille Seymour more than likely could be a potential, practice squad spot. He's only, going into his second year. He's a one-year veteran, so could very well go ahead and do that. But I like the moves. I like the roster moves. They're looking to bring in people to kind of keep things fresh, keep competition going, and I like it. I'm looking forward to it, and I can't wait to see what the preseason, when the preseason games start, and see a lot of these young players and see what they're able to bring to the table. As always, guys, that's going to be it here. Again, make sure that you guys are liking and subscribing to the channel. If you guys are not, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Smash that like button. I greatly appreciate it. Comment down below Zero Squad to potentially get a shout out on our next video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm R0B. Peace out.